We've taken the batteries off the battery shelf, or the battery box here. We're mounting our components to the wall today. DC to DC charger is in place. And we're working on mounting the inverter here. Okay, so a couple things. We're mounting them upside down. Your writing is upside down on these based on where either power needs are coming in and going out from. For example, the DC to DC charger, the power is coming from the front and it has to go in here and then out here. And then the inverter, we need access on this side to the outlets and the on-off switch and things over here to be able to plug things in. So we need to mount this upside down as well. That kind of bothers us.
I'm not going to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, anyway. So
Renogy, you need to send us a new
what?
New graphics that we can.
Good Lord. So the Renogy inverter, let me put it up here on the shelf, get a little better visual here for you guys. Hold on. So when you mount this to the wall, the inverter has mounting brackets built in back here. First of all, the screw size here that you think, oh, we'll just put some screws through there, tiny screws, hold it to the wall.
How much does that thing weigh?
This weighs, I think it's 23 or 26 pounds. It's heavy. It's a heavy beast. So these little mounting holes here, a size 4 screw, a 6 screw doesn't fit. So we're going to use these slots. So the bottom, we've got some lag screws mounted there. So this will set on the lag screws and that'll hold the weight. That will tighten these down. That's great. We thought, well, we'll just put lag screws in the top as well and tighten those down. That'll get a nice bite on the mounting bracket. But I don't know, can you see this? You can't get a socket in there straight on to screw your lag screw in, because the mounting plate that is built onto the inverter is not tall enough. If they would have just increased the length here, or the height of this mounting bracket by, a 1/4 inch might have done it, but a 1/2 inch would have been fantastic. A 1/2 inch would have allowed us that space to put a lag screw in and to get a socket on it and screw it to the wall.
Well, why not just mount?
So
you're mounting strips this way.
So what we're doing is we are going to use these spring anchors here in place of the lag screw. So I've got a little washer on there, so we're going to drill the holes larger up here, pop that through the wall, put this on. The weight is going to be held with the lag screw on the bottom, and all this is going to do is to keep it on the wall so it doesn't tilt forward and fall down. That's what we're doing. I'm
not happy about this.
I just, yeah. So my complaint about the whole system is the mounting options are almost non-existent. Again, a little bit more to this mounting bracket here would have made life 100% easier.
So engineers.
Yeah.
I mean, your only other option is to mount it to a board,
which people do.
On the bench.
Which people do.
With this, well, you couldn't use a socket. You'd have to use a.
Well, you could use a socket if you were mounting it on a board. You could, because you could get in here with a wrench.
With a wrench.
Yes.
Not a socket.
No, not a socket. You're right. Not a socket.
So. You could do that.
You could do that, and we're looking at it. We might do that. I don't know, but this is our option because we want to get it as high up as we can,
and secure as we can.
Yeah. So a lot of people do that. They mount this to a board or some strips of wood before putting it on the wall, and then they just mount the. Where's that 1x? They'll take a 1x and they'll mount it to it, and have it extend over the end, and then just screw in that way. But we considered that as well. So anyway, that's part of today's project for getting the solar installed, is getting all the components mounted where they need to live to have best access to the batteries and to wires and all that. So charge controllers are going to be installed after the inverter. DC to DC is already up there. And then I think after we get everything kind of mounted to the wall, we're going to put the batteries back in place. We're going to make a ride to town. We have a package waiting for us to pick up. It's cold today. Sherry's in a long sleeve shirt. I pulled out my R1. I was so cold this morning when I woke up.
We've gone from 113 down to 70 something.
Yeah, I almost couldn't function. I was so cold this morning. I said, no, I need warm things. So we're expecting some weather tonight, maybe thunder. I don't know. There's something coming in. The temperature has dropped drastically,
which we love, but
yeah,
I'm not acclimated yet.
I know.
Well, if the sun was shining, it'd be different.
Yeah. So, okay. Still working on solar system setup.
Just screw it to the wall, they say. Yeah.
Got the inverter installed. Took a little doing, but it's in there. It's solid. It's on the wall, nice and tight.
2 anchors.
Yep. And then we use the lag screws on the bottom. So the bracket system I was saying, like just a little extension of that bracket would have made it a lot easier. This is the charge controller, the MPPT charge controller.
Same company.
Same company, Renogy, and they've provided these brackets to stand off from the side of the unit to allow you to have access to get a screwdriver in there, tighten a screw. So this comes with mounting brackets, which is awesome. So
Which doesn't weigh that much.
Which I know, this is a much smaller, much lighter piece of equipment, and it's a lot easier to install because of these mounting brackets. So I'm just going to put these mounting brackets on here. I got 2 more to do. And this charge controller is going to live up in this corner here. We're going to move this wire out of the way a little bit to have access to that. It will live in there because our solar comes in through here, and the solar is just going to come in and plug right in the bottom. So this to mount, I'm not sure if we're going to mount our circuit fuse box yet.
It's in the...
Oh, it's in the cubby. I'm not sure if we're going to mount the fuse block in there yet or not. We might, but these are the main components we need to mount today. So, oh, here, Sherry's going to grab the fuse. We got a fuse box of 12 port or 12 location. You can put 12 circuits in here. So that's going to live somewhere in this area here, because everything that comes into this, so the power will come from the batteries into that, and everything that comes into this is going to come down a channel in the corner here from elsewhere in the motorhome, elsewhere in the van, and it's going to plug into this. So this seems to be a good location for it, right around here. So we might just go ahead and mount that today. But these are the main things we need to do. Then the batteries are going in. Then we go to town and we register the van and we have lunch.
Take it on our bumpy road.
Take it on bumpy road. See if things hang onto the wall. One of our favorite restaurants in town reopened. They were closed for a while, just for some R&R, I guess, for the owners. Really, they work hard. Memories Deli. So we're gonna go there for lunch today.
Oh boy!
So let's get this done so we can eat, because I'm kind of hungry.
I'm starving.
Now that I remembered Memories is open, I want a sandwich. All the components are in place. We decided to wait on the fuse block because we're not positive if we want it there or there'll be a sidewall. We might want it on the sidewall. Everything's installed, really secure. We got the batteries back in, they're tied down. Everything's gonna fit nice and flow really well. And we're kind of done for the day because it has started pouring.
It's pouring!
And it's thundering and Bailey's not happy, so we gotta shut everything down, clean up our mess, and get inside quick. But so far, that's the progress on the solar system. I kind of like it. Okay.
Chris is doing a little solar hookup.
Yeah, this is a big old learning curve. This is kind of basically just electrical stuff that, yeah, kind of aware of. We got these fancy tools, a crimping tool. So I got to put this ring connector on the wire here. And this is made for like somebody with big, strong hands. So I got to get it started. It's ratcheting, which is nice, and it keeps its place. And then boom, it's crimped on.
Nice.
So this is the positive lead going from the charge controller to the batteries. I've already got the negative lead hooked up. And then when I'm done with this, I will hook from the solar into the charge controller, and then we should be charging our batteries. I think I have to do a couple things and adjust the charge controller for lithium batteries and stuff like that. So we'll just get this hooked up so that it powers this, and then make the adjustments, and then we can add the solar to it, and then it will start charging the batteries.
That crimps really nice.
It does crimp really nice. I like that tool a lot. That's a nice crimping tool. Like I said, it's made for somebody with big, strong hands.
Yeah, it's a good workout.
It is a good workout.
And we were going to put the shrink.
Oh, yeah, we bought shrink wrap sleeves, but they're the wrong size. They won't fit around the crimp on the thing, so we need to get bigger ones. So for now, I'm just going to tape them up with some electrical tape.
Okay.
And continue on. Wow, what an ordeal, guys. So Sherry and I have been working on this solar component hookup for several days now. We have talked to people who know how to do this kind of thing. We've watched YouTube videos. We have contacted Renogy, their technical support, asked their recommendations for their products. And we've taken all of that information, let it jog around in our heads for a while, and I think we finally got it. We have everything hooked up except for the DC to DC charger. We decided to keep, what am I sitting on? We've got just
our wonderful new, not our tool, but
yeah,
Jay's tool.
our wonderful friends, Jay and Shayla, they ran into us the other day, and they offered to help us by letting us come out to their place and use their hydraulic crimper. This thing has been a miracle. Yes, a game changer. This has saved us literally a couple hours of frustrating time crimping our lug ends onto our wire. So we're using 2-gauge wire for all of this, almost all of this setup. Let me back up here a little bit and show you. Whew, there it is. There it is. Everything is hooked up except for the DC to DC charger, and that is wired and ready to go. We have the wires for it here. We have the breaker here for it. Everything is ready to go for that. We are going to do...
This goes to the fuse panel.
Yeah, this will go to the fuse block.
Fuse block.
Right here. That'll be right there. And everything will get wired into that. We decided to go... I gotta take the plastic off here. We decided to go with the Renogy monitor for our battery rather than using just the charge controller monitor screen. This gives you a little more information. It tells you exactly what amperage is going out, what watts are going out. A little more information than what this does.
You have no way to check your load unless you...
Exactly, good point.
You have that.
Yeah, there's no way to...
We weren't going to use it. We were going to send it back, and then we changed our minds.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's connected. I'll go through all of this here at some point, but we're just really excited because we did all our final connections here so we can return our tool to Jay. Thank you, Jay, so much. You have no idea how much that has saved us.
We're actually sitting in the parking lot of the hardware store.
We're sitting in the parking lot of Ace. See this, we're downtown Ritzville, sitting in the parking lot of Ace Hardware.
Which is good because we needed more connectors.
Yeah, you know, you're like, oh, I know exactly what I need. And then you get home and you realize, I forgot one part. I can't complete this because I forgot one part.
One wire,
So, anyway, we're really excited because we're about to test the inverter here and see if it works. We've got a heat gun plugged into our inverter line outside. Let's go see if it'll start. All right, here. So this is our inverter outlet out here. Here's our little heat gun. Let's see.
It's like something from Star Wars.
I know. Woohoo! Yeehaw!
Let's turn on high.
Yep. We have a way to make power. This 98% completes our entire power system setup. Just have to do the battery to battery charger, and then we're just going to start running wire down into the fuse block, and we're good. Wow. Yeah, that was a stress.
Wow.
That was a struggle. Like I said, you know, just talking to many people who've done this before, who know, you know, 12-volt wiring, who know how to do these things, getting their recommendations and thoughts. Videos, YouTube videos, watching how other people have done things, getting the Renogy company recommendations for hooking up their products. Just taking all that into account, you know, trying to figure out the best way to do it. We got it done. And you know, when everything's kind of tied down to the wall, it's going to look pretty neat. That was my thing too. I didn't want just a cluster of wires. I didn't want a jumble, you know, big old octopus of wires. You know, so many people do that, and I want to know when I look at something that I know what I'm looking at. I don't want to have to trace something back somewhere and, you know, have a mess on my hands. So having everything neat and tidy was pretty important. So, okay, we're gonna clean up our mess. We are going to return that tool to Jay. That was a game changer for us. And we're gonna go visit Leslie and Larry. We got some things to talk to them about because we are just a few days really away from having to leave to go on our trip east to pick up our car.
By a few days, you mean like 12, right?
I mean, like maybe a week from tomorrow, like 8. So anyway, that's gonna be the rest of our day, is spending time just making plans for our departure. And then we will start busting a move out on getting the ceiling put in with the insulation and running some wire so we have outlets available to us on our trip. Whew, that's a huge stress off of my shoulders. That's fantastic.